Do you want to learn how to can tomato juice the old-fashioned way? This recipe was taught to me by my grandma, and it is so simple and easy. Back in 2020, I got into gardening, and when you garden, that comes with learning how to preserve your own food. And something I've learned about preserving your own food is the easier and simpler, the better. So you wash your tomatoes, core them, and then cut them into quarters. And then you'll blend them up into a juice. Now, a strong blender is recommended. I have used different brands, and honestly, some of them just don't work out too well. This one is Instant Pot brand, and it does a really good job. After you've blended them into a juice, you'll put them over into your pot, and it's going to look really foamy like this. A very important part is never fill your pot more than half. Because what's going to happen is once this starts to boil, it will raise, and it will raise all the way to the top to the point where it almost boils over. Make sure you're stirring the whole time so the bottom doesn't burn. Now, once it starts to boil, that foam will start to rise. At this point, cut the heat down to about medium and stir constantly to keep the foam from boiling over. This part might take a little bit of intense stirring just to keep it from boiling over, but eventually that foam will start to go down and you'll be left with just the tomato juice. This part is honestly the most intimidating part of the whole thing, but once you get the hang of it, it's easy. Once your foam has boiled down to just the tomato juice, you're ready to start putting them in jars and start the canning process. In each one of your jars, you'll put a teaspoon of canning salt and half a teaspoon of citric acid. And that's for quart jars, I might add. Now you're going to funnel your tomato juice into your jars with about a ½ inch of headspace. I didn't record this part, but make sure you wipe the tops with vinegar to make sure they're good and clean. And then you're going to put the lids and rings on, and you're only putting them on finger tight. Finger tight means you're just twisting them on with the tips of your fingers. You don't have to cinch them down real hard. And I'm just going to finish up this last little bit that I have here. When it comes to canning, you kind of have to get into your own groove. This is nothing more than a guide to kind of help you along the way. Now, this next part is going to be what shocks everybody. With this tomato juice, you don't have to process them in a water bath canner or a pressure canner. You just set them to the side and they will do their thing. Pretty soon you'll start hearing them ping and you'll know they've sealed. I ended up with about 37 quart jars, and that should last us about the whole year, if not longer. I hope you try it. Good luck.